wasn't supposed to like this game, but I fell in love with it. Grimshire gives you the day-to-day cozy farming moments, wrapped in the constant feeling of existential dread. You know, like real life. As usual, I was looking for a cozy farming game on Steam, and happened to stumble upon this. After a quick YouTube search, the opening was enough to get me interested. I chose the easy difficulty because we are in the middle of moving, and everything is already stressful. Since I originally wanted to play a cozy, relaxing farming game, easy is probably good with these warnings. Because usually I pick normal. The game lets you pick between a few characters that gives you different advantages. But the main difference is whether you choose a carnivore or a herbivore. This will affect your stamina when you eat. For example, as a bunny you will get more out of eating a cucumber than a fox would. Definitely something to take into consideration. I went with the fox. Let's get into the story. I will try not to spoil too much because I want people to experience this for themselves. But the big urgency in this game is the fact that there are herbivores and carnivores living peacefully together on an island. The thing is, you need to provide the town with food for both or people will die. And of course they eat different things. The NPCs are thankfully not useless at helping, but you definitely do the heavy lifting here. The game starts with you being unconscious together with a goat lady. The tight-knit community takes you in and treats your wounds. No time to rest from your brain injury though, because as soon as you wake up the next day, they lead you to a rundown farm for you to live and work at. Considering you're on an island, you do not have much of a choice. One of the people running the town, Percy, is making me walk all the way to the town's root cellar to show me where the town stores their food. All I want is an aspirin but have to settle with seeds and a full day of hard work instead. Is it even safe to work that quickly after being knocked out to the point of memory loss? Yeah, they probably should have left me alone. When evening comes around, I finally get to try out my new bed. That was underwhelming. The game has barely started and we are attending a funeral, because Goat Lady noped out. After that, we get about 3 days to gather our thoughts until Finn is back. And I think the music says it all, doesn't it? Finn lets us know that the capital is destroyed, and so are a lot of the neighboring islands. Not only that, but the few survivors on the broken island were acting feral. So now we have this fun unknown curse or disease to deal with. There are still a few unharmed places, but they don't want anyone to enter. Naturally, this is a huge issue for trading goods. But at least the weather is nice and the community is trying to stay positive. I would probably feel a bit more positive if they didn't decide for me that I had to do most of the work to keep the town alive. I haven't even introduced myself to everyone yet, and I'm still waiting for that aspirin. Beggars can't be choosers though, so I run home to tend my farm. After a long day, digging in the earth, a question sneaks into my head as I drift off to sleep. What happens if I refuse to help? Instead of chirping birds, I get awakened by a trumpet. Off I go to another fun meeting. Her Royal Majesty's Empress Priscilla's men have decided to grace our docks with her presence. Something bad is happening to the surrounding islands, so they require a defender's ration. It's taxes. For your safety, of course. I love that NPCs have realistic reactions to what is happening in town. The disagreements around the heavy topics and how they should be handled are well written. Even though they disagree, you can see it from both sides and why they would argue the way that they do. No one is really wrong or right. It is just different approaches to the same issue. I don't know if they will stay reasonable. I don't know if they will stay reasonable or not. But so far in the game at least they have been. Let's take this case as an example. Some of the villagers want to fight back against the soldiers, which might get someone killed. Then there are others who cave into their demands, so nobody gets hurt. Regardless of all that, a choice was made to accept the taxes. I do my thing, foraging and fishing in the beautiful surroundings, talking to people despite the extra toll on everyone. They're still adapting and finding nice moments throughout the day. Staying positive, we got this. From now on, I'm just going to get what I need to survive. I am not helping build this herb garden. They were fine before I got here. They'll be fine without me. Oh. Well, at least I got an achievement. Okay, I will be honest. That broke me a little. So, I had to pretend it didn't happen and take it seriously again on a different save file. But I will always remember what I did. Let's shake things up and do something fun. Animals. Instead of cows and chickens, you have cute little monsters that you need to befriend in the wild by approaching them with the right type of food. If you've already built a barn, you can send it to your farm. Like in other farming games, you build a relationship with them by feeding them and petting them, making sure they get to roam outside on sunny days. In return, they provide you with different resources. Or you can give them food that makes them horny. You know, the usual stuff. But the big difference here is that you also have the options to make them speedrun diabetes by giving them chunker food, increasing their weight so you can, you know, give them a nice day and lead them behind the barn. Honestly though, the game handles this respectfully. As you should. I don't like the thought of having to kill animals in real life either. I'm scared of spiders and I still try to help them out. Unfortunately, it is a necessary part of life, like the game says. They attempt to give them a good life until that moment, then make sure to use the whole animal so nothing goes to waste. I know you were side-eyeing my setup where my table is right next to the door. It was just a more aesthetically pleasing place to put it there, okay? Don't judge me. These poor people can't seem to catch a break. The rat bastard is back with a Wait, it's calling him a rat bastard, kind of like a slur in this universe? The rat is back with a tax increase, sparking arguments. You do not have an option to opt out of paying and defend yourself instead. They will forcefully barge into your home and take it if you do not provide enough food for them to collect in the root cellar. And as if a tax increase wasn't enough to deal with, now there's something wrong with the water as well. making fishing in some of the areas an issue, which is why I slaughtered one of my animals. I had to! Things got really ugly. I struggled to make enough for the carnivores, and I'm uneasy. I know it's just pixels, but that was really hard to do. It is the only one that got murdered, that died. All the townspeople are still alive as a result. So, nope. The hits just keep coming. The story so far is as good as the gameplay. It is tackling some heavy topics and I am really interested in seeing which direction this will go next. At the moment, the NPCs are still trying to stay together, but what will happen if they run out of meat? Will they start fighting each other? Or grow even tighter? Will they attempt to fight Her Royal Majesty's Empress Priscilla and her men? Verbally or physically? Or just do nothing until they can't continue anymore and join the goat lady? I don't think farming games need to have a good story. That is not why I'm playing farming games. But it definitely makes the game better if you're able to get it right. Stardew Valley comes to mind again as an example. The game tells you that you need to be strategic with the trees and planting. I don't know to which degree that matters yet, if it is just something the NPC says just because it fits. Let's be careful to cut down the right trees and not too many if we plant them, because you can harvest different things in different seasons. For example, I don't remember the exact sentence. It was a side quest from a fox, if I remember correctly. And also the warnings in the beginning. Hopefully it is really important on the harder difficulties, because that will be fun. And although I struggled to find food that gives me more stamina in the beginning, I still did pretty fine. I imagine the consequences are greater on the harder difficulties, but we'll see. The artwork in this game is absolutely beautiful and the controls are very comfortable. And the urgency that is introduced into the game is at a perfect pace. You feel it, but not to the point where it is so overwhelming that it isn't fun anymore. And when you find something new or manage to reach a goal, it is actually exciting. A lot of the gameplay is similar to Stardew Valley and Fields of Mistra, with mining being the biggest difference. Also, I have yet to encounter any enemies in the mine so far, but there has been talks about it, so I don't know if that is real or something that isn't going to be a thing in the future. I don't know if that's actually a part of the game or not yet. But so far I've been safe. I think I prefer this way of mining though over the other two games. There's something very satisfying about just removing all of the rocks. I don't know, that could just be a me thing. Also, you need to be careful with where you dig or the caves in and you get tossed out. I even tolerated fishing in this game. Fishing! I hate fishing, both in real life and in gaming, but it was actually fun here. The farming and mining part can stand on its own. I was just pleasantly surprised by the storyline. This is the first time in a long time that I have been so enthralled by the storyline and gameplay that I haven't even put on a YouTube video in the background at the same time. The hours just flew by playing this. I actually walked around looking for people because I wanted to hear their opinion. There isn't even a single character that I dislike in this game. Which, to be honest, makes it so much scarier with the fact that they can die at any moment. But that's a good thing, that it gets you more invested. So that is not a negative, that's definitely a plus. Although the game is stressful, it is also oddly relaxing. It is hard to explain and best experience for yourself. The pacing, item discovery, and general progress feels perfect, contributing to the game being fun and rewarding throughout. Which is often a pet peeve of mine in farming games, but that is a different topic for a different video. Also, Grimshire is in early access, by the way. Let's just throw that out there. Is it perfect? No. I managed to get myself stuck in the mines between a lantern and a wall. Apparently I can eat flowers, so I was lucky enough to get myself out. I agree that you should have a stamina bar, of course, but I disagree with the fact that moving decorations should count as one move. If I hadn't had that flower, I would have been doomed to wait for the day to end. And I have managed to avoid that so far. So I don't know what happens if you actually don't make it to bed on time. In other games you lose items, so I actually haven't checked that here. Another thing that is a bit annoying is that if you finish a quest... Actually, I have an example. I finished a quest for a character and he gave me some apple seeds, but my inventory was full. So I went into the store right next door to sell off some items to get space for the new seeds. When I came back out, they were gone. Maybe not a huge deal, but I got excited and honestly restarted the day. I usually don't do that, but I really wanted them. Maybe it is a bug or maybe it is something that just annoys me, but honestly my criticism stops there. I so badly want to go really in depth in this game, but I want you to go play the game and experience it for yourself. Plus, this game deserves so much more attention than it has gotten so far. I really hope you give this a chance because I don't think you're going to regret it. And no, I'm not sponsored, I just fell into it and I absolutely love this game. This is probably one of my favorite games. So yeah,